Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through the PlayStation Backbone, what it does, how well it does it, how it feels, and if it's worth the price. I'll start off by saying that I thought this little yet expensive device was ultimately a controller for the PlayStation Remote app, and if you think that too, you are wrong. But first things first, this does come in both an Apple and Android version. I have an iPhone, I bought the Android version, so watch out for that. Moving along, setup is easy and simple. You'll just plug in your phone, it will ask you to download the Backbone app from the Google or Apple Store. Having thought this was a simple controller to use for the PS Remote app, I was impressed. This app essentially makes your phone a console. Here you can browse games, add games from your PlayStation, but not only that, you can also connect to your Steam and your Xbox account. You can play Xbox games via the cloud, and you can play Steam games as well. If I had known this before, I would have purchased this device much sooner. Literally the day before I got this, I was trying to research if there was like an Xbox version and I couldn't find anything. Now it's important to note here that while the app is free, there is a subscription. While this subscription is $50 a year, which is kind of over the top considering how much the device itself cost, you do get your first year free. You can still use Xbox, PC and PlayStation games without the subscription, but you'll kind of need to just open them up manually rather than having a place where everything is available. So I guess in the end, not really too bad for $4 a month. So now that we know what it can do, which is quite impressive, but how well does it do it? First up, I tested out my PlayStation. I downloaded a nice selection of games that I had been feeling to play lately. I did initially have trouble connecting my device, however, that's because I live in Australia, where we have absolute hot trash Wi-Fi. Once I waited for Assassin's Creed Origins to finish installing, it connected fine. I experienced some very minor lag during the first 30 or so seconds, and then smooth sailing after that. I also found that the image was really clear, and there was no lag in the controls. It felt nice and smooth. Next up, I tried the Xbox Cloud Gaming. I wasn't really expecting much here. I've heard that cloud gaming on Xbox isn't too great. I decided to try out Viva Pinata, an oldie but a classic. It started up in a matter of probably about 30 seconds, so essentially no waiting required, and it played like a charm. I was gobsmacked because, Australian internet. Lastly, I tried Steam, which I had a bit of trouble figuring out. You need to use something called GeForce Now and potentially have a paid account just to use games in your Steam library, but every time I went to try and open a game, it got me to log in, then it would take me back to the same page where I would have to click the play button, which would just take me straight back to the login screen. It was kind of like using the Backbone to go into Steam, to use GeForce Now, to use Steam on the Backbone. It was a bit too complicated for me, so I think I'm just gonna stick to Xbox and PlayStation. My initial thoughts when I first started playing games on this device was that it was going to drain my phone battery hard, and I wouldn't be able to play for very long. To my delight though, you can actually charge your phone while you play. Honestly, I'm really impressed with this device, and I can't believe it's not being marketed more. And while I didn't have much luck with Steam, I'm super happy with the performance of the Xbox and the PlayStation. Now on to usability and feel, and I find that the controller feels really nice and the buttons feel really nice to press. Although keep in mind, I have quite small hands, so while the controllers were kind of like the perfect size for me, I'm not sure how comfortable it would be for someone with bigger hands. It's also super easy to set up. You literally just pop in your phone, and then from there all you gotta do is press this button here, and then it loads up. Voila! So now onto the cost, and this bad boy cost me $180 Australian, which is pretty pricey. To be fair, I was thinking I was getting it on special, but it was just the Android version, hence why I ended up accidentally buying the Android version. So once I returned that and got the Apple version, I ended up paying full price. So do I think it's worth the price? For me personally, yeah. One of my absolute favorite ways to relax, and I do this pretty much every single night, is to get into bed, pop on some YouTube, get my Switch out, chill with my dogs, and play video games while I watch some YouTube. So the fact that this lets me do that with Xbox and PlayStation games as well is really awesome for me, and I'm really happy that I got it. I would say just to keep your Wi-Fi capabilities in mind, especially if you live in a country that doesn't have the best Wi-Fi like Australia. Or maybe if you live in a really big household where people are constantly downloading things, this might not work the best. So let me know what you think, if you've bought it already and managed to try it out, or if you're considering getting it. Thank you so much for checking out my video. I really appreciate it. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.